So welcome back, and let's continue.
Okay.
So I wanted to show you this one, and then we can talk about something else. So this was the schedule. Actually, it even runs scheduled.
Could you make it a bit bigger?
Oh, sorry.
The screen.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks. That's fine. Thanks.
Okay. So this CI system, it even runs scheduled once a day. Okay. So even if this project doesn't make progress, but the others that its dependencies or its downstream packages, it will still test them. Okay. So that's why it's actually GitHub turns off this scheduling, I think, after 2 or 3 months if you don't make any changes to the repository, but you can enable it again. So they'll send you an email that, okay, this scheduled CI job will be turned off unless you click on this button. Okay, which is fine because they want to make sure that you don't have something that you forgot there and it's just consuming energy. So I don't remember why we have here all three. Okay, because I'll show you one. So the idea here is to run the tests of the source code, and we are using here an image called Perl tester, which already has a lot of things inside. Okay, so it's not a bare bones Perl. And then we use that and install some other package, run Perl makefile, make test file. So we verify the regular tests. Okay, we ran the regular tests. Then we run some extra tests, which are the release tests. For this, we first install a bunch of modules. Okay, and so here I added this loop. I think instead of just saying cpanm install all these things, I don't even remember why I did this. I think the reason was because some of them were sometimes failing. Okay.
Okay.
And I wanted to see exactly which one and something like this. I think that was the reason. Anyway, and then running the tests. And then, okay, so this is like the basics still. Then we create a release, which is only created running on a specific version of Perl. What I did here is automatically updated. So I took the version number from the source code and increased it by 0.1. Okay, and that's in order to make sure that we have a newer version. Okay, it's not being released; it's only for the test system. Okay, and then make file, make manifest, make this. So we generate the tarball. And then I was using the artifact, the upload artifact action. So this would go this path. So this path now I said the test class file. Okay, so this tarball. Okay, you can have here a path or a file name or whatever. And it will save all of that, whatever it finds here, under the name test release. Okay, in the artifact story of GitHub Actions. And that's good because, well, one of the, you can download it. Okay, so a user can now download that artifact. But here, what I was using for is that then I can run all the tests on a clean Perl. So here I said, okay, now let's run on Ubuntu, the whole Perl version matrix, using an image, a Docker image. So the fact that it's running Ubuntu, that's not interesting. We are running in a container with a specific version. And then download the artifact from this from the artifact directory. So the same name, okay, that I called it the release, with just some name, okay. And now I'm installing it from the local file. So this is a little bit like the cpan testers, right? That they are running on a sort of clean or almost clean installation of Perl, and then they download and install and test your package. So here, what I said, okay, now I created a release, or that looks like a release. Well, I didn't update the changelog and all these files, that doesn't matter. But I have this release now here, okay? And I install it from the local disk. And it's running its test, like it is a cpan M. It's actually, I'm not using the no test here. I'm using it even verbose so we can see all the details. So that's how, that's I think the much better. So I do send pull requests to various Perl projects running their tests, and I don't do all this because it's extra work. But maybe I should send pull requests like this because it's much cleaner, right? Running the tests and then verifying it on various platforms. And of course, this will only run if the previous one is successful. And here actually, I even oh, this was a single job, sorry. This is a separate job, and it has, what I forgot to point out, it says needs the built-in container. So this is the built-in container. This is the name of the job. So this way, I set the condition that the second job will only run if the first one that created the artifact was successful. Okay. And then it says this one needs the built-in container also. So the original one. If that sucks, I mean, maybe I should put it, make it dependent on the test on clean Perl, but whatever. So this one is the testing the downstream, which works on a single version of Perl. Okay, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it can matter, but I guess I didn't want to run it on multiple versions. Using the tester image, so it will be faster because other things most of the packages are already installed. Downloading the artifact again here too. Installing it, so now I have the version of test class that I just pushed out, already installed, and then I go over a list of these modules that at least at one point were dependent on test class, and each one of them we separately run the cpan M node the installation. Okay, so this is the way it is done. I think is that installing all the dependencies of the package without running tests, so it will be faster, and then running cpan M verbose on the module itself that I was trying to check. So these are the downstream. These are the ones that are using the test class module. And I guess I have some comments here that that additional modules that were using test class, but for some reason I couldn't include them because they were
anyway.
Sorry?
Because they fail anyway.
Because they were already failing, yeah, or whatever, or takes a long time to build. Okay, so all kind of things. But put them here so I know why. And I guess some more here. I don't remember why I put more separately. And then there is also a separate thing here, running natively on the 3 operating systems.
Okay.
So not in the image. Again, taking the artifact that was already created. So in one place, I create this release, and then I test it on all kind of places. So as if it was a real release. Some Windowsy magic here. I don't know what is this. I don't remember, but I guess I needed this install batch file that had this thing in it. Oh, this is how you create files. Like, this is how you create a file, and then here's you can append to it. That's okay. Whatever. Anyway, I was quite proud when I wrote this, because I think it's a nice workflow. Any questions about this?
No. It's something I could well do in another circumstance. Do you remember when we were looking at one of Neil's modules, we were trying to add tests, and he used Diesel, but he supports Perl back to 5.10 or something like that with it. And I was wondering how on earth to do it, because Diesel only needs Perl 5.22. So I guess you'd use that technique, really, or part of that technique. I guess.
Yeah. So you only need Diesel for the release.
Yeah.
Right. So you can use the latest version of Perl with Diesel, release it.
Yeah.
And then you can save it as an artifact.
Yeah.
As the zip file.
So I'll steal most of that at some point, I would think.
That's there to be stolen.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you have other issues that you would like to talk about?
Just nothing important. Just a couple of notices, really. One of them is, do you remember we did some work with Devel Cover a couple of weeks ago, and I did a pull request and your suggestion to get them to amend the documentation. That got accepted yesterday. Not yesterday, Sunday. On Sunday. So that was quite good.
Because the testing summit, or whatever it's called, I forgot what's its new name. The one that I'm going to send the income from this course to. Okay. And I couldn't get around to do this yet. But they are meeting now. So I sort of missed the sending it before the event. That's what I wanted. Yeah. But I missed that. So anyway, they are meeting, and Paul is there. So I also saw 2 of his. So is this? I guess he's there. I don't know, but he's working on his stuff now.
Yeah, so, he did a lot of. I checked. He did a lot of commits on Sunday.
Yeah, so I think rejected one of my issues, and the second one he said, "Oh, so maybe it's okay." But it's fine.
Yeah. I talked a bit about the pull request, a module I got for pull request called last month at one point, and we talked about one of the things was, if you remember, I said I wrote a test, but when I actually then ran the Diesel test, the test wasn't being run, and I figured that out in the end. It was because one of the various Diesel plugins it uses a thing called git gather. Git gather dirt, I think, to be precise, and well, gather dirt is kind of does what it suggests. It basically takes everything that's there and copies it across, but git gather dirt only does the things that are actually in Git. So because I just written it and
Ah,
hadn't even
okay.
added it, hadn't even staged it, it didn't get copied. But as soon as I staged it, it worked and it was fine. So that was okay. So I sent a pull request based on that. But the test actually involved actually creating a post, admittedly a draft version, but a draft post on that system medium, and which is kind of okay. So and I thought, okay, I probably ought to delete it really within the test. And so I went to the API documentation, and the API documentation says, "Oh, don't use this; it's old, it's deprecated. Don't use this anymore." So I decided to stop working on that.
Yeah.
I didn't see much point. Okay, then the other thing is this month's, which has obviously just come out, this month's module is a Dave Cross one, and not surprisingly, it's got good coverage, it's got GitHub Actions, blah, 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 and it's not very big, and I'm really struggling to find anything to do with this.
Yeah.
But there you go.
The problem probably with this project of the monthly pull request or pull request club is that the people who signed up with their modules are those who are already doing most of the stuff they need to do.
Absolutely, yeah,
so
absolutely.
They are the more active ones, so they are the ones who
already there's Neil and Dave Cross and yada yada yada. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's why I'm suggesting you that to go to CPAN Digger.
Yeah, okay? Yeah.
And then get the most recent ones, and there you can find and.
Yeah. So those are kind of like notices, really. I mean, of my activity. Yeah. So that's good.
So here are spreadsheet edit. Okay, whatever. There are a lot of these. These ones don't have link to the repo, but you can try to find them. But the ones that have, I think, for example, this one. I don't know. One of them, something like this. I don't remember. Maybe this one. I tried to send a pull request or sent a pull request. Maybe it was a different one. This Catalyst. So lots of things to do here.
Yeah. I think I'm definitely going to look at. You talked about writing a version of this that actually kind of we can say put our dependencies in. I think that would be a
so
good...
here.
Yeah.
So we can just create a list for if you are okay, and put it here.
Yeah. I thought that'd be useful. Actually, I've got a system that I run, just a results service for a sports club, and yeah, I could do that with that. It'd be just for fun because it's a Catalyst thing, so it's got lots of kind of interesting dependencies. So that would be a good thing to do, actually. Yeah.
What is this? This is still missing is the capability of going doing recursively. So here I have just a list of projects, and then it does all of them. But probably this should also have a flag of recursively, because you would want to know if this is really your dependencies that you would really like to know about the dependencies. And the fact that some of these are missing, so that's a devil cover thing. That why are there these missing, and we had some issue opened about this with Paul, and this started to discuss this.
Okay.
I think CPAN, where is it? The dashboard. And then GitHub. No, this wasn't here. I don't remember where. Or somewhere we discussed this, that something was missing. That's not this. Anyway, this is also a nice thing to try to contribute to this dashboard. Though very few people actually here too. Okay, so you see, I don't know. Only few people look at this or configure it for it. Does it is these are like
So, okay, so I got a question which is slightly to do with this level of stuff, to do with CPAN. Is there any stats about which modules get looked at or even downloaded? Download is a bit funny because sometimes
download
it's like if you've got a, like I use Fedora and a lot of the Perl stuff's there already, and I wouldn't use the CPAN, wouldn't necessarily use the CPAN version. I'd use normally often I would use the the Fedora version. So it's not going to be kind of that definitive to how much stuff's used, but it must a little bit. And I don't know. It'd be really interesting to know, even just which ones people have looked at the documentation for. It'd be really interesting to know.
So
I mean, like if somebody hasn't downloaded a package or it's not been looked at for a year, say, there ought to be something that's saying, is this package really? I don't know if there's any way of deprecating packages, saying, oh, it's just kind of, I don't know.
Okay. So I have access to the Google Analytics of MetaCPAN.
But it won't, presumably it won't tell you what modules, or will it, can you get down to that level of
the download level? No, and you will see. I looked at it really long time ago, but if you take at the site content, and I think they need to update the, or maybe whatever. So you can see that it's so distributed that the top module, which is DBI, let me enlarge just the font.
Okay.
Okay, can't see much here, but so these are the pages and the percentage of views.
Right.
And the number of views. I think this is the last week.
Month, basically week, yeah.
Okay, last month. Okay. So the home page is 5.5%, or 20,000 visitors, recent, and the DBI is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Is less than 1%, and so it goes spreads, and it's very soon it flattens out. Okay, so this could be used for something, or this information, but so everything is 0.07% here.
Yeah, but you wouldn't expect any individual one to be massive, would you? Really?
Sorry?
You wouldn't expect a big hit. Well, a big percentage hit on some of these things. They're going to be. God, Telnet.
So you could one could look at that would, I mean, so that would be an interesting thing to. I guess they have an API here that one could access the API of the analytics and get the list of pages of the 100 or most popular pages.
Yeah.
Or all the pages, and then display the information on MetaCPAN.
Yeah.
That could be an interesting project to do, but they also have to fix it because Google is Google the analytics is being changed, and the way they are collecting is the old way, and it will stop working on in what, 2 months, 1 month, 2 months.
Google are impossible, aren't they?
Sorry.
Google are impossible.
Well, it was for a long time. It was working. Well, you just need to change the code, the embedded code, and then you lose all your history, and you have a new of this view.
Yeah.
What can I do? So yeah, that could be an interesting thing, because I mean you can look at this, but that doesn't help much looking at it once or manually. But if you could access this data and then display on MetaCPAN,
Yeah.
or just create a separate page for now, so you don't have to integrate with MetaCPAN at first. That could be interesting. So that's the homework. Write some Perl script that if given some I don't know, whatever API key you need to get access to this, read access, fetch all the pages for the last, I don't know, year, and the statistics, and create a whatever XML file, whatever JSON file is the name of the pair, or a mapping, a CSV file, name of the page and the amount of visits. And then that can be filtered specifically for this one. You can filter that down to the per pod pages and the dist pages. So you can also see that the dist DBI also has a bunch. Could be interesting, but it's work. So anything else about this?
No, that was interesting.
So this one should also, like, it should, the MetaCPAN. Okay, MetaCPAN. Let's see something else in MetaCPAN. If I can even, I don't know. I'm logged in. Where is the menu here? There used to be a menu somewhere here at the top. Now I don't know where it is. Tools. Okay, so I think, I don't even remember if it was really me or I just imagining it, that at one point I wanted to create a dashboard for a long time before Dave Cross created that one, some kind of a dashboard on MetaCPAN, and I think they didn't want to integrate it immediately. They said, "Oh, but who knows? Maybe you won't work on it, won't finish working on it," and totally correct. So then I came up with this idea of the lab, that the same way that Google had this lab, that if you're logged in, then you can look at it. And I don't know what, if it's still, at what level it's working, but it should give you, as a CPAN author, give you some overview of what you have. A lot of things are missing here. But and then the dependencies, this was also an experiment that it's still there. MetaCPAN workflow, I don't know what are these. Okay, you find interesting things. By the way, on the CPAN digger, we have this link to the rocks, the CPAN rocks, some statistics. And so this is one of the issues that I keep showing. Okay, we look at the version control systems, which in CPAN digger, I have the statistics of the most recently uploaded, so I think it's last week or so. So at the bottom, you have some statistics saying that 89% of these have linked to their version control system. And then I go and 47 has continuous integration, so less than 50%. And the CPAN rocks shows that for the totality of CPAN, 35% basically have version control, 65% don't have version control. So this is not very surprising. The old ones don't have version control or don't have link to their version control. Okay, the newers, we can see that the situation is much better. So it's almost 90%, which is quite good, I think. I mean, I would prefer 100%, but okay. And then a couple of more. This is also the license. 30% don't have the license declared in their meta file. This is, I think looking only at the meta file. But at least this is organized. I have this other project, the PyDigger, where I'm trying to get some of these ideas to Python. And if you look at the statistics, at the bottom, I think I have the list of licenses. So these are the licenses that they declare in their appropriate metadata. And as you can see, it's all over. So it's free text, and so everyone writes something different for the same license. And what can I say? And then some people put the whole license text into it, into this the text field.
Yeah, that's not correct.
Right. The funny thing is that Perl says there is more than one way to do it, and still way more organized than Python, who says, okay, there must be one way to do it, one correct way or whatever, one obviously correct way, and then it's all over the place. And this is only looking at the recent ones, okay? So because in this project, I don't scan the whole PyPI, which has like 400,000 modules. Only when I started to run, it started to collect the new ones that were uploaded. So it's only like 80,000 of the projects, the most recent 80,000 out of the 400,000 that they have there.
Hmm.
So, yeah. And if you look at this one, no version control. So this is incorrect, actually, these percentages, because I just fixed a couple of days ago some code that didn't recognize some of the URLs. So I need to somehow rerun the whole thing again on all the packages I have, because I missed them a lot of the links, because I was looking only at one field, and a couple of years ago they introduced a new field to which is also funny. They have a declaration of which description in the documentation, how they should be. So where is it? If I click on docs, I don't know where is this now. Right. So they have this meta file in TOML format, which is like ini file, sort of. And then this is the example. Okay, so you link to home page and repository and changelog. But in reality, you can put any key here. So as I was looking at the various packages, each one has a different name for the URL going to their version control system.
Okay.
And I can understand that you would like to allow people to use any string, because you would like them you would want them to be able to provide extra links that you didn't think about. But then why not fix, okay, these are the fixed one, and all the others, let's say, start with X dash, like in the SMTP or various other. And then you can come up with whatever you like, and all the rest are fixed, and we know exactly where to look for something. Because now, for my project, despite Digger, I have to go over all the keys and check which one looks like a version control system. Which one looks like a GitHub link or a GitLab link, or I don't know, Codeberg. There are a couple of these other systems. So what can I say? Shall we go look at the source code of the CPAN dashboard? No,
Okay.
you're not interested.
Well, I am interested. Yeah, I'm just trying to work out. Well, yeah, I'm interested. I was trying to work out how you. Well, I haven't done anything with the Metal CPAN API, so I'd be quite interested.
So yeah, this is the one. So git check out main master, whatever, and git pull origin master. I think they've made a lot of improvements in the last couple of days, partially because of my nagging, but that's good. So GitHub workflow, I don't know what are these. Is it big enough? Okay, so as I can see, this is the CI job. So the way it works is that it's a GitHub action that runs the thing, collects the data, and commits back to all the data back to the repository. So I think the actual website is committed here. Okay. I used to do this, but I already, since then I moved to pushing this into a separate place that now GitHub allows you. And I asked Dave why is doing this, and he said he's still considering whether this is the better way or the other one. So fine. So regenerate. So what does this? Oh, I think now it's doing he separated this. Let's see the other one. GitHub workflow rebuild cache. I'm not sure if this is now the separated things. But anyway, let's see this rebuild cache. Okay, it runs. Oh, it runs only once a week, right? This thing. So this is not. This is using. So this is not the interesting one now. So this one is the interesting, which runs every 4 hours? I never know what does this mean. I always have to look it up. Does it mean every 6 hours?
It's every 6 hours, yeah. It means every 6 hours, yeah.
Okay. So it runs every 6 hours. And checks out the repository, fine. get update install cpan minus. So it goes with just plain Ubuntu and installs the cpan minus of the operating system. Interesting. Okay, it's not using a Perl image, just the regular. Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought because now he's going to use the system Perl basically here and installing right directly into the root folders, which is not usually a recommended thing, I think. But I mean, this is a short-lived thing, but that's fine. So then he's installing all the dependencies, fine, and then runs the dash the script that actually collects the data and generates everything. And here, this is the code that commits back to the repository. Okay, so this is like git add the docs. Okay, so the other thing updates the docs folder, right? And then here it adds the docs folder and commits it back. And if I git log, then git lg better, then you can see that most of the commits are actually this automated web page generation. And then sometimes he does some work himself. Okay, Dave. And then he also uploads the artifacts to this to the doc. So the docs folder takes it and uploads it as an artifact, and then uses GitHub Pages. Interesting. So it's a mix of these two things. Okay. So what is in the dashboard? Yeah, this is a recent request I made to be able to run the dashboard in two different ways. One that collects the data and the other one that generates the web page. Because earlier it was that, okay, just run it, it will collect all the data and generate all the web page. Now, if I want to work on the web page generation because I would like to make an improvement, it's really now every time it will collect all the data. So that was one of my requests recently, that to separate these two steps. And I think that this is what was added. I have an additional request, it's an open issue, to allow whoever runs this to limit the collection of data to a single author. Because the way you have here is that for each author, so each cpan author, if you would like to have your dashboard, then you have to add your cpan ID with some configuration information. So here, let's say mine, I just give what is my cpan username, what is my GitHub username, and then I ask it what kind of data to display on my dashboard. Okay, and I probably should turn off the Travis because that's not really interesting anymore. Or maybe I should keep it and make sure that nothing has Travis anymore, and then turn it off. Okay. But anyway, so you have these configuration files, and right now, I think this gathering gathers all the data for all the authors. Again, if I'm now working on this, and I would like to see how things work, then maybe I would want to focus on a single author and not having all the process done. So that's a feature request I opened. It's very interesting, this thing. It says, oh, it's interesting. So it says if there is anything on the command line, then check what is there. And if there's nothing on the command line, then just say we are doing both building and gathering. or gathering and building, there should be in that order, but I guess he liked the ABC order here. It's a hash, so it doesn't really matter, right? And then this is this dashboard up, which I have no idea where it is. Oh, there is a module called dashboard up, I guess. Dashboard lib, dashboard up. Okay. So here is the code and object pad. Interesting. Oh, it's interesting code. Okay. I don't see that. And then it's using template toolkit to generate the website. Nice. I mean, I don't see much point now to go over all the source code. It's not long, it's 300 lines at the end. So what is this other GitHub workflow rebuild cache? So what is this cache? Refresh branch cache?
Yeah.
Refresh branch cache? Yeah, I think I remember he wrote about there was an issue about the fact that his earlier code was assuming that each Git repository has its central branch or its default branch is called master, which was more or less correct up to a few years ago. And now he found this GH, the GitHub command line client, and that there is an easy way for it with it to and with using JQ to. Where is the JQ part? Okay, so it's there's an easy way to fetch the default branch. So that's it. And then I'm not sure why he needs that here in a cache, but whatever. Why it's not part of the process every time. Well, doesn't matter. Okay. That's fun. So you can go and look at the GitHub repository. It has a couple of issues. This is another thing. So when I ran this on my computer, I saw a couple of errors. I don't know, whatever, can't access. There is a link to the version control system, but it's not actually there. It gives 404 or all kind of stuff. So I said, I thought, okay, it would be a nice idea to all this. So you can actually see this data if you go to the actions.
Okay.
Oh, and here is the artifact. So you can download that artifact. And so you can see this log out here, but I thought maybe it would be interesting to have a page where you can see this output on the website. So you don't have to find the GitHub action that runs it and understand, but just go to the dashboard, cpan dashboard, and have a link here. Okay, view blog. So if there is something that you can try to understand, that it's easier. Okay, why is this missing or whatever? Why is my module missing from here and so on? Anyway, I
Good.
have nothing more to say now.
No, I think I'm fine for today.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So see you. We still have we can still have 2 meetings according
Okay.
to the schedule.
Okay.
So good. See you next week then.
Okay then. Bye.
Bye bye.